Hold up, did this dude just accuse his fiancée of poisoning someone? Ricardo drops the bombshell, asking Bianca if she's the one who poisoned Maria. And guess what?
This psycho queen doesn't even deny it, smugly thinking getting rid of Maria is the only way to put things back in place.
Talk about a red flag. Bianca, still in her delusional bubble, tries to sweet-talk Ricardo, saying he's under Maria's cunning spell and that she's the woman he should be with. Girl, read the room.
Ricardo's fist clenches, but Bianca misreads the whole vibe, thinking he's finally coming to his senses and returning to her. Oh honey, that's not the kind of saving he has in mind.
BLAM. In a shocking twist, Ricardo brutally strikes Bianca down.
Blood splatters as he coldly declares he'll kill her to prevent her from ever committing another sin.
This is not the reconciliation she imagined. As Bianca collapses, he stands over her, offering a chilling salvation as her former fiancé. Like, he's literally offering her death. Talk about a savage breakup. But wait. Bianca screams, jolting awake in her room, realizing this horrific scene was just a terrible, bloody dream. Or was it?
She stares at a book, a history book she thought she bought, now feeling like a prophecy.
A concerned maid peeks in, but Bianca, still reeling, screams for her to get out. She's panting, clutching the book, utterly disturbed by its contents, especially the title, Story of the Splendor Empire.
She bought this thinking it was a dry history lesson.
The only reason it caught her eye was because the male lead shared a name with her fiancé, Ricardo. But then, her name, Bianca Crawford, appeared.
It hits her like a truck. She thought she'd be the female protagonist, the heroine, the main character.
But no, she's the villainess, destined for a brutal beheading. Talk about a plot twist you didn't see coming. Back in reality, Bianca is having tea with her actual fiancé, Ricardo Wingkaiser, admiring his perfection. Seriously, this guy is sculpted by the gods themselves. He's handsome, has broad shoulders, long legs, heir to a renowned dukedom, a recognized swordsman. Basically, he's the perfect man, exactly like the male lead in that cursed book. Bianca even loves his deep voice.
She thinks it's only natural for a man this perfect to be the lead.
And as for her? She's no slouch either, honey. Her family is prestigious, and she's considered one of the Empire's top beauties. She's the whole package. But the book insists she's not the female lead. That role goes to some girl named Maria. Maria, the female lead in the book, is of lowly origin, an illegitimate child of a marquis from the countryside. Bianca scoffs, refusing to back down to some uncultured, unsophisticated nobody she's never even heard of. Bianca reflects that her Ricardo is always calm and distant with her. But in the book? He's a man of passion when he's with Maria. The book even shows them in intimate, steamy scenes. Ugh.
Bianca, being the meticulous and slightly obsessive person she is, read every single detail in that book, getting flushed just thinking about those spicy scenes.
Ricardo notices her looking unwell and asks if she's alright. Playing it cool, Bianca asks Ricardo, under what circumstances would you kill someone? His first answer? Probably during a war. Fair enough for a swordsman. But Bianca presses, when else? Ricardo looks confused, asking why. Her inner thought screams, because you end up killing me. She remembers the book where her intense, obsessive love for him turns into rage and jealousy. In the story, Bianca's anger toward Maria pushes her to the brink, willing to kill her to get Ricardo back. This book is basically a blueprint for her downfall. Ricardo finally reveals his true red flag: I would only kill a person if they harmed someone dear to my heart. Bianca shudders, going pale. She just saw him kill her in the book because she harmed Maria. Ricardo, ever the gentleman, notices her strange behavior and suggests she rests. Bianca dismisses her growing fears, reminding herself that their engagement is just a family agreement, nothing more. Ricardo leaves, unaware of her internal crisis. Desperate for answers, Bianca rushes back to the bookstore to return the cursed book. But the shopkeeper, bless his clueless heart, claims they never sold such a book. Bianca insists, saying she bought it 3 days ago. The shopkeeper firmly denies it, stating the book has none of their store's markings. He even explains their system, removing a tag upon purchase to prevent confusion. He scanned the ledger, and that title just doesn't exist. He continues, explaining that in 40 years, he's never seen a title like Story of the Splendor Empire. It's not a typical history book, and it's certainly not a romance novel, which usually have steamier titles. Bianca, now fully convinced this book is a magical, ominous artifact, threatens the shopkeeper with his life if he's lying. He bows profusely, terrified. She then, with surprising clarity, advises him on better anti-theft measures for books. The shopkeeper is amazed by her advice. Bianca, utterly exhausted by this whole ordeal, puts the mysterious book away, deciding she's had enough of it.
Her maid reminds her of a charity dinner, pulling Bianca back to her noble duties.
Bianca tells herself to forget the book, calling the story trash anyway. She flat out refuses to believe a respectable gentleman like Sir Wensbury would have an illegitimate child.
And the thought of Ricardo leaving her for some low-born girl?
Preposterous. Bianca stares at her reflection, confident in her beauty and status. She concludes it's complete nonsense for Ricardo to abandon a woman like her for someone of lowly origin. Oh, Bianca, you're in for a rude awakening. Our girl Bianca is rocking a fierce red dress, but her maid, Panya, dares to suggest some basic white corsage shoes.
Bianca's face just screams, "Are you serious right now?"
Bianca's stare is so intense, Panya practically wets herself, realizing she's about to face her lady's wrath for such a fashion faux pas. The horror. The older maid quickly jumps in to take the blame, promising to warn Panya.
Bianca, ever the cool leader, just asks for black shoes, internally noting that her staff's fear keeps them in line.
Later, at a fancy shindig, Bianca is barely tolerating Sir Wensbury's exaggerated war stories. Honestly, how many times can one man claim to have beheaded 33 men? We're all bored, Bianca. The conversation shifts as Sir Wensbury praises Ricardo as the Empire's new hotshot.
Ricardo, looking perfectly nonchalant, just accepts the compliment, probably thinking about his next dramatic pose.
The dreaded marriage talk finally rears its ugly head. Bianca's internal monologue is a frantic countdown of all the times she's waited for Ricardo to propose, from her debutante ball to her 20th birthday. 3 months have passed since her birthday, and still no ring. She's convinced their family's promise means they should marry, but her feelings for Ricardo are definitely more than just a political alliance. Bianca pulls Ricardo aside for a private chat, hoping to discuss their future. But this man, this walking red flag, can barely muster any interest, confirming he sees their marriage as a mere obligation. Seeing the book's prophecy unfolding before her eyes, Bianca blurts out a shocking question: "Are we going to get married?" Ricardo's half-hearted probably is basically a death knell for her hopes. Then comes the ultimate gut punch. Ricardo calmly states they're breaking off the engagement. Bianca's jaw drops, realizing the book knew everything. To prove the book's power, Bianca brings up a super-secret detail from Ricardo's childhood, his beloved dog. He's visibly shaken, demanding to know how she knows this deeply personal info. The book revealed that Ricardo saw his true love, Maria, as the reincarnation of his cherished childhood dog, the first being he ever truly trusted. Talk about a weird comparison. When Bianca suggests raising a dog of the same breed, Ricardo's intense refusal seals it. The book is a 100% accurate prophecy. He emphatically declares, no dog can ever replace him. Furious and terrified of her destined beheading, Bianca unleashes her rage on the book, trying to rip it to shreds, calling it a piece of crap. But the magical tome simply won't tear. So, if you can't rip it, burn it, right?
Bianca throws the book into the fireplace, puffing and huffing, convinced she'll destroy her fate.
10 minutes later, the book emerges from the flames completely unharmed, looking even cleaner.
Bianca is in disbelief, realizing this book is truly supernatural and her fate is sealed. The book foretells Ricardo and Maria's fated meeting on St. George's Day.
Bianca, armed with beauty, fortune, and high status, refuses to accept her gruesome end. She's not dying for anyone's romance. She revisits the book's scathing description of her, self-centered, abusive, extravagant, and convinced Ricardo loves her. Ouch.
The book is serving some brutal truths.
Bianca scoffs at being a villainess, believing her beauty and high standards are just facts. Clearly, she's still in denial about her own obvious facts. When she asks Panya about shoes, the poor maid completely breaks down, spilling her entire tragic backstory: a sick father, frail siblings, and a starving family. Talk about laying it on thick.
Panya begs on her knees, crying that her family of 7 will starve if she's fired.
Bianca, in a shocking moment of unexpected kindness, stops her. In a rare display of mercy that totally contradicts her villainous description, Bianca agrees to wear the ugly white shoes and even rewards Panya with a shiny silver coin. Who is this new Bianca? With a newfound sense of purpose and a glimmer of hope, Bianca summons her butler. The game is officially on, and she's ready to rewrite her own damn story. Alright, buckle up buttercups, because our girl Bianca is on a mission. She's got her loyal attendant doing some serious digging, demanding a full background check on a commoner named Maria Valona. Bianca wants all the juicy details: Maria's age, what she looks like, if her mother's really sick, if she's plotting a move to the capital, and basically everything else. Talk about being thorough, or just plain nosy. But the real tea, the absolute scandal, is Maria's connection to Sir Wensbury. Bianca's book, the one that's basically her life spoiler guide, says Maria is his love child. Our girl needs to know if that's legit. Next, Bianca turns to her attendant, fishing for compliments about her reputation. He, of course, goes full simp mode, gushing about her beauty, elegance, and how she's the flower of high society. Gag me with a spoon.
Bianca's not buying it for a second, rolling her eyes and clarifying that she wants to know what her servants truly think of her personality.
You know, the good stuff, not the PR fluff. The attendant's response? A hilariously pixelated Pinocchio nose growing on his face, followed by a shaky, "They
all love you." Even Bianca can tell that's a lie, wondering what was behind him just now.
LOL. In a twist no one saw coming, Bianca suddenly remembers a maid named Panya. She orders a silver coin for her, recalling Panya's sob story about her dead mother, injured father, and 5 starving siblings. As if that wasn't enough, Bianca, in an unprecedented act of kindness, tells her attendant to send Panya home with some leftover bread too. She then dramatically sighs, realizing her personality might not be so positive after all. Cue the drama.
Bianca freaks out, wondering if she's turning into the villainess from the book.
Just then, her cursed yet magical book starts glowing. She dashes towards it like it's a winning lottery ticket.
The book trembles like it's having an earthquake, and Bianca panics, thinking it's about to explode.
But instead, it flips open, revealing a horrifying truth.
She stares at the runes, realizing the story changed. The original ending, where Ricardo and Maria share a passionate kiss after Bianca's death, has been rewritten to describe what happens afterward.
The new ending is bleak, a lonely grave, no grass, avoided by all.
But one person, a maid to whom she showed rare kindness, placed a wildflower. Even that withered. Bianca's eyes narrow. Our girl connects the dots, that must have been Panya. She admits she's never been kind to any of her maids, always assuming their relationship was purely transactional. The realization hits her like a ton of bricks. Was I wrong? The story changed because of her one small act of kindness. Her heart pounds, and she snaps, in that case. With newfound villainous redemption energy, Bianca rings her bell like a maniac, demanding her carriage. She declares she's off to a nearby orphanage to do a good deed. Her maid looks utterly bewildered. She barks orders for her checkbook and plenty of cash.
She's going to embark on a good deeds campaign, something a villainess would never think to do.
What a queen, changing her fate with cold hard cash.
Arriving at the orphanage, her maid is aghast, asking if Bianca is sure about this because she usually hated dirty and run-down places. Bianca, ever the actress, pretends it's not dirty at all. A tiny orphan girl, captivated by Bianca's dazzling presence, asks, "Who are you?" The maid introduces Bianca, and the girl, utterly starstruck, immediately asks if she's a princess. The maid suggests going inside, but Bianca, ever the diva, insists the director should come out to greet her. Internally, she grumbles, "What a bother." The little girl just keeps staring, then asks, "Excuse me. Are you a princess?" The maid flinches, but Bianca is secretly loving the attention. The maid tries to clarify that she's Lady Crawford, but the girl insists, "You're so pretty. Are you sure you're not a princess?" To her own shock, Bianca actually says her position is almost like a princess. Before Bianca can regret her words, the little girl grabs her hand and tries to pull her inside.
Her maid, in a fit of panic, yells, "Who do you think you're touching with those dirty hands?"
Bianca looks at the child's clearly dirty hands, but something is different. She's not disgusted.
She stares confused. "But why don't I mind it?" Her maid then asks why she brought them all this way.
Meeting the director, Leanne Sparta, Bianca confidently declares her intention to sponsor your orphanage. The little girl, still starstruck, exclaims, "The princess is having TEA." The director is completely overwhelmed by the sudden windfall. But of course, there's a catch. Bianca demands the director spread the word about her sponsorship, whether it's through the kids or putting up posters. Talk about a public relations queen. Bianca's true colors show as she internally admits she needs to improve my public image and prove she's a good person and not a villainess. Becoming a sponsor is her best bet, apparently. The director, teary-eyed, thanks Lady Bianca profusely as she writes a check, promising it will cover building repairs and new clothes for all the children. Bianca, ever the pragmatist, downplays her generosity, saying it's the cost of 3 dresses. No need to overreact. The director, ecstatic, promises to spread the word far and wide. Just as Bianca is about to leave, she halts. Her eyes widen as she hears a rustle and sees someone approaching. What is he doing here? It's Ricardo. He stares her down with an intense glare, calling her Bianca, and demanding to know what she's doing in such a humble place. Talk about an awkward encounter. Alright, buckle up buttercups, because our girl Bianca just walked into a minefield.
She's minding her own business at the orphanage when the psychoduke Ricardo pops out of nowhere, basically telling her she has no business being here. Like, excuse me.
This man's audacity knows no bounds. But hold up. Before Ricardo can unleash his full Frosty Duke energy, a tiny, adorable hero named Lala steps in. This little queen calls Bianca a princess and threatens to put Ricardo on the very, very naughty list if he dares to be mad. You go, Lala. Roast that duke. Bianca is absolutely floored, feeling a warmth and security she's never felt from a night before. Watching Ricardo, the stoic duke, get put in his place by a literal child. Priceless. He tries to tell Lala to step aside, but even he knows he's been humbled by this pint-sized protector. Later, in the director's office, we witness a rare sight, Ricardo actually apologizing. Bianca is shook. The man who barely speaks to her is suddenly bowing his head, expressing regret for his initial suspicion. Is this a new character arc, or just a temporary glitch in his programming? He then asks what got House Crawford, a family famously allergic to charity, involved in an orphanage. Bianca clarifies it's her personal interest, but she's got questions too.
She notices the children call him Ricardo, and realizes he's a regular here, secretly doing good deeds.
A duke with a heart? What is this sorcery? Ricardo spills the tea, explaining he dresses casually so the kids see him as a mentor, not a nobleman. He's been teaching the boys swordsmanship, giving them skills to survive, not just handouts. Okay, Ricardo, you're starting to look less like a villain and more like a secret softie. He reveals his grand plan, training these boys to join the Knight's Order, securing them a stable life and a salary.
Bianca's mind is blown.
This isn't just charity, it's a long-term investment in their future. She sees the true depth of his kindness, recognizing it as a good idea to give them a path.
But then Bianca, ever the thoughtful princess, asks about the girls.
Do they learn swords too? Ricardo's face falls. He says he teaches anyone who wants to learn, but admits it's incredibly hard for girls to become knights. The gender inequality hits hard, even in a fantasy world. He continues, explaining that most girls are married off or sent to the city for low-paying, difficult odd jobs because they lack specialized skills. Odd jobs. Bianca repeats, a chill running down her spine. The reality is grim, folks. Bianca's imagination goes wild, picturing little Lala, the brave defender, freezing her tiny hands off doing grueling laundry just to get paid. Her heart aches.
She wonders why she's so worried about a child she just met, but the injustice is palpable.
This princess is feeling things. Bianca declares it unfair, but Ricardo quickly warns her that a knight's life is no fairy tale.
He starkly reminds her that wars are gruesome, and handling a sword is far from easy.
He's seen some serious stuff, and it's not pretty. We're plunged into Ricardo's haunting memories, people dying, places turning to ruins, the wails of despair echoing everywhere. He confesses that he still remembers the horror vividly and even dreams about it sometimes. My man is carrying some heavy trauma, you guys. Bianca is utterly speechless. She's never seen Ricardo look so vulnerable, his eyes vacant, as if they might just disappear. The icy Duke facade has crumbled, revealing a deeply scarred man beneath. This is a side of him no one, especially not Bianca, has ever witnessed.
And then, the truth drops like a bombshell. Ricardo confesses he's doing all this to atone for his sins. It's ironic, he says, that he's encouraging kids to become knights despite knowing war's terrors, but it's the only skill he has to offer.
Bianca realizes he's been suffering alone all this time.
Overwhelmed with empathy, Bianca impulsively reaches across the table and takes his hand, a silent gesture of comfort. Ricardo is stunned, looking at her with wide eyes.
Bianca, meanwhile, is internally screaming, I'm holding his hand.
What do I say? The tension is palpable. Ricardo clasps her hand and, for the first time ever, looks directly at her and says, "Thank you." Bianca blushes furiously. He thanked her. After all her efforts to become his duchess, she couldn't get him to say those words, but now, this simple gesture changed everything. Ricardo admits he saw a new side of her, and Bianca agrees it's their longest conversation ever. What started as a frosty confrontation has blossomed into genuine connection. As they prepare to leave, he tells her about an upcoming ball and promises to escort her. Is this a date? Bianca's heart races, feeling the warmth of his hand. As they walk out, Ricardo notices she's flushed and gently touches her cheek, asking if she has a fever. Bianca, flustered and stuttering, insists she's fine, while her heart goes batum batum batum.
She quickly scurries away, but her mind can't stop replaying the moment.
Ricardo was looking straight at her, not past her, not with disinterest, but with a gaze fixed solely on her. The attention from the Duke of Ice has finally landed.
Bianca's heart is still racing, and she can't help but wonder, is this newfound warmth a good sign for their future? Or is it a bad omen of troubles yet to come? What do you guys think?
Let me know in the comments. Brace yourselves, fam, because our girl Bianca is spiraling. She's just confirmed that Maria, the actual FL, is indeed a real person.
Talk about a plot twist that screams impending doom for our resident villainess.
And the intel gets juicier. Maria lives with her sick, widowed mother, who, get this, was once Sir Wensbury's maid during his war injury recovery. Cue the dramatic music, because the pieces are falling perfectly into place.
Bianca's mind is racing, connecting every single fact to the ominous book she's obsessed with.
If everything is aligning, does that mean her destined execution is really going to happen? The existential dread is real, people.
Desperate to outrun fate, Bianca hightails it back to the bookstore.
The merchant is ecstatic, showing off the new magical seal he updated based on her advice. Like, look at me, I'm actually good at something, vibes. But Bianca isn't here for small talk.
She drops the most unvillainous-like shopping list ever, books on war trauma, psychological treatment, and panic disorders.
Then, with an intimidating glare, she declares she'll buy out his entire bookstore. Get that bag, girl. While waiting for her therapy library, Bianca spots a cute fairy tale, The Journey of the Dandelion Princess. It sparks a memory of little Lala, who once bravely shielded her from Ricardo's intense gaze. Ah, even villainesses have soft spots. Moved by the memory, Bianca decides to splurge. She tells the flustered shopkeeper to pack up the entire shelf of fairy tale books for the orphanage kids. Who knew a villainess could be so generous? And just like in a perfectly scripted drama, as she arrives back at the orphanage, she bumps right into Ricardo. Apparently, this duke is a regular, coming a few times a week to practice his swordsmanship. Convenient, much? Ricardo asks what brings her here, and Bianca, with a straight face, replies, "Oh, just a couple of books." He takes one look at the mountain of literature and has to call the kids for help. Bianca just shrugs, "This is nothing." Queen. Ricardo summons the children, and they swarm to help carry the books. But the real star is Lala, who comes running, shouting Princess Bianca. She's clearly Bianca's biggest fan, and honestly, same.
Lala practically tackles Bianca, bursting with joy and asking why she didn't announce her arrival.
She explains she ran from the other side of the backyard the moment she heard Bianca was here. Dedication, people.
Bianca can't help but genuinely smile at Lala's compliments, feeling a warmth that completely contradicts her fated villainous role.
Ricardo catches her smiling, a small smirk playing on his lips. Is that a hint of approval, Duke?
While Ricardo wonders what's so funny, Lala leans in for a secret whisper.
She promises to protect Bianca from Ricardo, threatening to put him on the naughty list if he ever dares to be mean to the princess. My heart. To prove her protective prowess, Lala lets out a tiny, adorable roar, like a fierce tiger. Bianca stifles a laugh, torn between calling it cute or scary. I mean, it's definitely cute, but don't tell Lala that. Ricardo swoops in, playfully telling the scary tiger to stop bothering the princess. But Lala, ever the loyal guardian, insists she's only trying to keep Bianca safe. Ricardo, impressed, tells Lala the princess is lucky to have her. Then, Lala, bless her innocent heart, compares the scene to a fairy tale where a knight rescues a princess. She innocently asks if Bianca and Ricardo are going to get married. Oh, sweet summer child, you have no idea.
Bianca's internally screaming, reminding herself she's a villainess destined for death, not marriage.
But then, Ricardo, with a perfectly calm face, says perhaps. And then he goes even further, promising Lala an invite to their wedding. Bianca is utterly bewildered. What happened to the indifferent, neutral Ricardo who always dodged marriage talks?
She can't wrap her head around the sudden warmth and the gentle smile he's sporting.
This man is playing chess while she's playing checkers. And then, the absolute mic drop moment. Ricardo looks Bianca dead in the eye and clarifies, he never once said he wouldn't marry her. Boom. Get ready for some serious romantic tension, folks, because this duke just activated his final boss mode. Hold up, did this adorable munchkin just drop a bombshell on our main leads? Little Lala, holding up a book, innocently asks Ricardo to read it to her. Our dear Ricardo, clearly not understanding the assignment, tells her to read it herself. Big mistake, buddy.
But then the unthinkable happens.
Lala drops the truth bomb. I don't know how to read. Bianca's jaw hits the floor, completely bewildered.
How could a child in this world not know how to read? Ricardo, ever the realist, steps in to spill some tea about the common folk. He explains that without a private tutor or nanny, most kids don't learn to read until much, much older. And orphans like Lala? Some never learn at all. Talk about a harsh reality check for our sheltered nobles. Bianca is absolutely floored by this revelation.
She's horrified at the thought of a child growing up like wild grass. Suddenly Lala's illogical thoughts make perfect sense. It's not her, it's the lack of education.
Someone get this girl a Nobel Prize for basic observation. Ricardo, bless his heart, tries to reel Bianca back to their very important conversation about their marriage. But Bianca? Nah, she's got bigger fish to fry. Marriage can wait.
Lala can't read, she practically shouts, leaving Ricardo stunned and wondering. Wait, I thought you hated children.
Ricardo, with a straight face, explains he doesn't hate children, he just doesn't approach them unless they approach him first. Bianca, still processing, quickly pivots, declaring she's going straight to the director to increase funding and hire a teacher for the orphanage. Get that girl a cape. Just as they're about to leave, disaster strikes. The carriage horse refuses to budge. Turns out, our generous Bianca bought so many books for the orphanage that the poor horse is literally too exhausted to move. Talk about a literary workout. Seeing their predicament, Ricardo, ever the suave duke, offers Bianca a ride in his humble carriage. Bianca immediately clocks that it's a Wingkaiser carriage, cleverly disguised to avoid drawing attention to his high-ranking noble status. Smooth move, Duke.
Inside the carriage, the air is thick with unspoken thoughts.
Ricardo, ever observant, can't help but notice the mountain of books Bianca bought for herself. She proudly declares, "I read a lot." But the titles he's about to discover will leave him speechless. He starts to read, War Trauma, Soldiers After War, What is Trauma, War and Corpses. Ricardo's internal alarm bells are blaring. What kind of noble lady is reading these kinds of books? Bianca, sensing his unspoken question, quickly jumps to her own defense, declaring her interest is purely academic curiosity and has nothing to do with his battle-hardened experiences.
Ricardo, however, just gives her a look that screams, "That's not what I was going to ask," leaving Bianca in a silent, internal scream of despair.
Ricardo reflects on Bianca, remembering his long-held perception of her as a cold, power-driven, and arrogant noble lady.
He painted her in his mind as someone only interested in status, a beautiful but untouchable ice queen. He flashes back to a pivotal moment where he saw Bianca recoil from a child covered in cake, thinking she absolutely detested children.
This solidified his belief that she would only ever be concerned with her title as Duchess, never a true wife or mother.
We see the scene unfold. A little girl gleefully smashes a cake, and while other nobles find it adorable, Bianca stares at the mess with disdain, muttering, "What a mess." Ricardo's heart sinks, confirming his fears about her icy nature.
Ricardo reveals his deepest, most secret desire, to give up his ducal title and live a quiet, peaceful life with a loving wife and child. He once dreamed of a happily ever after, away from the horrors of war and responsibility. But alas, duty calls. He knew he couldn't abandon his position as heir.
So he settled for the idea of building a peaceful family, but believed it would never happen with Bianca, who he thought only cared about her Duchess title, not being a wife.
Ouch. But then, boom.
The truth hits him like a ton of bricks.
He sees Bianca, not hating children, but genuinely caring for the orphans, even buying them books. He's speechless, realizing he'd been completely wrong about her all along.
With a powerful clench of his fist, Ricardo realizes Bianca hasn't changed. He just never knew the real her.
The blurry face of the wife he always imagined finally comes into sharp focus, and to his utter astonishment, it's Bianca. And just like that, with a heart full of newfound affection and clarity, Ricardo makes his decision: let's begin our wedding preparations. It seems like this cold noble lady might just be the warm wife he always secretly yearned for. Brace yourselves, people, because we're diving headfirst into the tragic backstory of Maria, our resident pretty, kind, and pitiful young lady. Girl grew up without a dad, enduring poverty and scorn, with society constantly pointing fingers at her. But hold up, this ain't no sob story where she just gives up. Maria fought tooth and nail, studying hard, but let's be real, in this world, her options were as limited as a noble's common sense, day labor or a maid.
And just when you thought things couldn't get worse, her single mother worked herself sick.
Yet, our girl Maria, bless her heart, nursed her mom with a smile on her face.
Seriously, this girl's a saint, or maybe just a masochist? Now, enter Bianca, our resident villainess in denial, reading this whole tragic report. She's supposed to be plotting Maria's demise, but instead, she's like, why would I kill her? I should be helping her. She even compares Maria to other hardworking girls like Panya and the always smiling Lala. This woman's got a soft spot, who knew? But don't get it twisted.
That empathy quickly turns into full-blown panic.
Bianca, in a classic villainous move, immediately spirals into anxiety, convinced Maria's sweet innocence will inevitably turn her into a villainess and somehow steal Ricardo's heart, leading to Bianca's untimely end.
Cue the dramatic bloody knife visual.
Ugh. What am I supposed to do with her? Bianca laments, clutching her chest. Our girl is having a full-blown existential crisis over this commoner. The struggle is real when you're a villainess with a conscience, apparently. With a dramatic sigh, Bianca declares she can't kill Maria, but she can't exactly save her either. Talk about being stuck between a rock and a hard place. She quickly shakes off the drama to arrive at the Wednesbury ball, looking absolutely stunning in green, naturally. Lady Evelyn immediately jumps in, gushing about Bianca being the most beautiful woman in the empire. Bow down, peasants. Lady Evelyn, ever the nosy noble, praises Bianca's looks, but her eyes are practically x-raying her.
She then subtly throws shade, asking about Bianca's sudden interest in charitable work, and wondering if the Crawford family has more practical values.
Oh, the audacity. Bianca, cool as a cucumber, confirms her charitable deeds, internally smirking that the orphanage director has been doing a stellar job of spreading the good word. Lady Evelyn, clearly trying to dig for dirt, can only respond with a backhanded compliment about Bianca's big heart. Bianca's internal monologue is pure gold. Yeah, keep up the good work. Tell everyone how kind I am. She's basically paying for good PR. Lady Evelyn then congratulates her on her engagement to Lord Wingkaiser, calling him a lucky man. Bianca, with a faux blush, says she doesn't know about that. Girl, please, we know you love the attention. Just then, the man himself, Ricardo, Lord Wingkaiser, appears, looking all tall, dark, and broody. He greets Lady Evelyn politely, completely ignoring his fiancée for a hot minute. Typical male lead behavior, am I right? The rumors about Bianca's kindness are spreading faster than a plague at a noble banquet. Ricardo then turns his gaze to Bianca, dropping the bombshell that he's heard some rumors about her charitable exploits. Uh-oh, the Duke's on to her. Ricardo, with a straight face, recounts all the places Bianca's generosity has reached, from orphanages to homeless shelters and retirement homes. Bianca, ever the smooth operator, just bats her eyes and calls it a new interest.
But Ricardo ain't buying it, reminding her she called it a personal interest at the orphanage.
With a fierce look that screams, "I see through your BS," Ricardo directly asks why she's suddenly so interested in doing good deeds.
Bianca's internal response? Actually, this is perfect. Because I have a lot of money. This woman is a genius. She then adds, besides. Didn't you know? Talk about a power move.
Ricardo, utterly baffled, asks no what. Bianca, with the brightest, fakest smile you've ever seen, proudly proclaims, "I've always been a good person." She's using this as her chance to rebrand herself, and honestly, we respect the hustle.
Ricardo, completely taken aback, admits he didn't know her very well. And then, the shocker of the century. He extends his hand and asks her to dance.
Bianca is internally screaming, what's gotten into him?
He doesn't even like to dance. Despite her internal meltdown, Bianca, ever the proper lady, accepts. As they glide onto the dance floor, the other nobles are whispering, gushing about what a perfect pair they make. Oh, if only they knew the chaos brewing inside Bianca's head. The music swells, and Bianca is thrilled to recognize her favorite song. Ricardo acknowledges it, a subtle shift in his demeanor that Bianca probably missed because her brain was already plotting. Ricardo, with a soft "I see," continues the dance, the music notes swirling around them, creating a truly romantic scene. But don't let the pretty visuals fool you, this is about to get intense. Bianca, still in full detective mode, is mentally strategizing how to grill Sir Wensbury about Maria and his love child.
She's so deep in thought she's practically asking him, "Were you intimate with the maid?"
Do you have a love child, in her head? That's when Ricardo snaps her back to reality with a firm Bianca.
Ricardo, his intense gaze fixed on her, asks what she's thinking about.
Bianca, caught red-handed, tries to play it cool with a vague jest. This and that. Smooth, Bianca, real smooth.
Ricardo, clearly annoyed, chides her. Shouldn't you focus on your partner when you're dancing? Bianca is completely flustered, thinking, why is he acting this way? She recalls how he always looked past her shoulders when they danced, never truly engaging.
The bombshell drops.
Bianca realizes that for the first time ever, Ricardo isn't looking past her. He's gazing directly into her eyes with an intensity that's making her heart pound. This isn't the Ricardo I know, she thinks, completely bewildered.
As they continue to dance, Ricardo murmurs her name, Bianca, and holds her closer. The shift in his demeanor is palpable, sending Bianca into a dizzying array of emotions.
Then, the final blow, the one that leaves Bianca absolutely speechless. Ricardo, with a soft, genuine smile, tells her, "You look beautiful today." Our villainess is officially short-circuiting.
Bianca is left utterly speechless, her mind a blank.
What? Did he just say to me? She stammers internally. This psychoduke is actually being romantic? My jaw is on the floor, you guys. Alright, buckle up buttercups, because our girl Bianca just got hit with a dose of Ricardo's sudden I actually care syndrome, and her heart is doing the cha-cha.
She's so thrown off by his intense gaze that her first thought is a classic, "Ugh, I need to fix my makeup."
Our queen makes a quick escape from the dance floor, her heels click-clacking away from the awkwardness, while Ricardo just stares after her like he's finally noticed she exists. Talk about a glow-up that hit him like a truck. Bianca's still reeling, her heart doing bam-bam in her chest as she stares at her reflection.
She wonders if her beauty is suddenly the cause, then instantly snorts. Because, darling, she's been drop-dead gorgeous for all 10 years of their engagement.
She quickly dismisses the idea that Ricardo could actually be falling for her out of the blue after a decade of cold indifference. Nope, this man is clearly just confused, and she's not about to entertain his sudden mood swings. Deciding the best defense is a good offense, Bianca tries to camouflage herself in the crowd. She just needs to walk faster and disappear, because dealing with this sudden attention from her fiancé is, quote, what a bother.
Just as she thinks she's safe, a hand grips her arm.
Her internal monologue screams what a creep, as she turns to face a man with shockingly pink hair and a smile that screams trouble.
Oh, but it gets better. Those distinct pink locks and violet eyes can only mean one thing: she's just been cornered by none other than Crown Prince Assemblant Cartagento himself. Cue the dramatic formal greeting. The prince, ever the smooth operator, immediately starts pushing for a casual vibe, practically begging her to drop the formalities and call him asshole. Sir, read the room. Bianca, however, is not about to give him an inch. She politely but firmly refuses his requests, sticking to her royal titles, and makes it clear she'd rather be anywhere else. Seriously, can a girl just leave? Cornered and desperate to escape, Bianca finds herself trapped when the prince uses the ultimate social weapon, a formal dance invitation. He knows she can't refuse a crown prince in public. Our girl internally groans, knowing she has no choice but to accept.
Just when she thinks her fate is sealed, a familiar voice cuts through the air, asking Bianca.
Ricardo, looking all intense and brooding, swoops in to pay his respects to the crown prince, effectively halting the awkwardness just in time. The tension in the ballroom just quadrupled. The power play begins. Ricardo formally kneels, then rises, exchanging pleasantries with the prince. But it's that intense glance he shoots Bianca's way that tells you everything you need to know: she's his. Assemblant makes a snarky comment about Ricardo not changing one bit, but Ricardo quickly takes Bianca's hand, firmly declaring, "Yes, your royal highness," before pulling her to his side. It's a silent battle for dominance, and Ricardo just landed a solid hit.
Ricardo, with a sly smirk, issues a mock apology to the prince, but makes it crystal clear: Bianca is his partner tonight.
Take that, pink-haired menace. Assemblant, not one to back down, coolly responds that he's aware of their engagement, pointing out that everyone in Splendor's social circle knows they've been partners since day one. This is getting good. Ricardo, undeterred, boldly states that Bianca will be dancing with me. Assemblant, sensing an opening, challenges him, "Didn't you already dance?" Oh, the shade. Ricardo confirms they did, but the prince counters with Empire customs allowing anyone to dance after the first set.
Ricardo, however, pulls the ultimate trump card. As her partner, he holds priority. Bianca internally wonders if she gets a say.
Isekai tries to play the important imperial duties card, but Ricardo just doubles down, claiming he and Bianca already agreed to dance before the prince even showed up. Talk about pulling a fast one. The prince, clearly rattled, tries to pressure Bianca into confirming Ricardo's agreement, even claiming her fingers touched his hand. He's practically begging her to side with him. Bianca, caught between two ridiculously possessive men, can only stutter out "Your Royal Highness," refusing to take a side. Isekai, defeated, lets out a frustrated ugh. God damn it. But hold up.
Just when you think Isekai might pull another stunt, his aide swoops in like a guardian angel of scheduling, reminding the prince he's 53 minutes late and was supposed to leave 18 minutes ago.
Talk about a buzzkill. With a dramatic sigh and a theatrical declaration about sacrificing his fragile body for the Empire, the prince finally makes his grand exit. Bianca lets out a silent phew, grateful the aide saved her from certain doom. The air is still thick with tension, but Ricardo, ever the opportunist, wastes no time.
He extends his hand, a predatory glint in his eyes, and whispers the words Bianca never thought she'd hear. "Shall we go, my dear fiancé?"
Bianca's world just stopped spinning.
Her eyes go wide, her mind reeling at the unprecedented intimacy.
FF. Fiancé, she stammers, before a full-blown internal meltdown erupts. Since when do you address me that way? Oh, Ricardo, you absolute psycho. Hold up, did Ricardo just call Bianca his fiancé?
Our girl is absolutely shook, wondering if the man's lost his mind or ate some questionable street food.
This is not the Ricardo she knows, and honestly, we're all here for the drama.
Bianca, being the queen of sarcasm, wonders if it was that cheap orphanage tea that finally broke Ricardo's brain.
She's convinced he's had a total malfunction because this possessive behavior is brand new. So Ricardo asks Bianca to dance for the third time. Our heroine is completely baffled, because this man usually avoids dancing like it's the plague. What's gotten into him? And then he drops the bomb, he's only dancing with her repeatedly to keep other men away. He's been clocking all the thirsty stares since she stepped out alone. Talk about a sudden territorial flex. And who are these admirers, you ask? Oh, just the host's son, some random bodyguard, and get this, even an old count in his 60s. Clearly, Bianca's charm is off the charts, attracting everyone from young studs to ancient nobles. Bianca, with her usual confidence, is internally annoyed that Ricardo is only now noticing her popularity. She's the most beautiful, wealthy, and influential woman in the Empire, duh. It's about time he caught up. She absolutely lets him have it, confronting him about how he's the only person who ever treated her like literal dirt in the past. Like, hello?
Who does he think he is, treating a queen like pocket lint?
Ricardo, with the audacity of a man who just got roasted, calmly asks if she's angry. Bianca's response is pure gold, dripping with sarcasm, asking why she'd be angry at her master who's kind enough to carry her in his pockets. Bianca then has a moment of realization, questioning her past self for wanting to marry a man who showed zero interest. She's literally thanking the heavens for that mysterious book that shook her back to her senses.
But Ricardo, ever the enigma, finds her anger fascinating. He's straight up enjoying discovering these new, fiery sides of her personality.
Is this a red flag or a green light, fam? You tell me.
And then, the unthinkable happens. Ricardo flashes a bright, genuine smile, just like he did when he was an innocent little kid.
Bianca is completely taken aback, stunned by this rare glimpse of his younger self. Next up, Bianca's meeting with Reinhard Wensbury, the Marquis's son. He's got that classic handsome look, but something feels a little off. Apparently, Reinhard is a spitting image of his father in his prime, but unlike the hearty, knightly Marquis, Reinhard is described as docile and obedient. Talk about a personality contrast. Reinhard is visibly sweating, apologizing profusely, terrified his request might somehow offend Lord Wingkaiser, aka Ricardo. He really wants Bianca to believe him, which, let's be real, makes him sound even more suspicious. Bianca blushes recalling how Ricardo, being all protective, dragged her home early from the ball when she felt unwell. Looks like our boy Ricardo has some serious white knight energy going on.
Bianca's inner monologue goes full detective mode, wondering if Reynard's flustered demeanor means his crushing on her.
She even digs into his past, noting he's 25, single, and might still be hung up on his ex-fiancée.
Reinard finally gets to his point, calling Bianca an exemplary figure and asking for her help with a deeply embarrassing family matter. Bianca is internally groaning, realizing she's about to be saddled with more social burdens.
Our girl tries to make a run for it, but Reinard stops her mid-escape. He finally spills the tea, revealing the scandalous family secret Bianca had been dreading. There's an illegitimate love child in the Wensbury family. Dun dun duyuan. Hold up, fam. Our boy Reinard drops a bomb. There's a love child lurking in his family tree.
But before your mind goes to the gutter, he quickly clarifies, "Nah, not my kid."
Chill. Because if it were, we'd have a whole different drama on our hands. Turns out, Daddy Dearest Reinard, Sr., had a little countryside rendezvous while recuperating from an injury. You know, just getting intimate with a maid who was caring for him. Sounds like a classic villain origin story, am I right? And get this, Reinard did the math, counted backward from the kid's birth date, and BAM. It lines up perfectly with his dad's recuperation period. The paternity test is in, folks, and it's 100% messy. He even considered if the mother was lying, but nope. The resemblance between this mystery girl and the Marquis is so undeniable, it's like a bad Photoshop job that still convinces everyone. Bianca's eyes are practically popping out of her head. So, what's a scandalized duke to do? His father is dead set on adopting this love child into the Wensbury family, even though his mother is throwing a royal fit. Guess who's probably gonna get his way? The one with all the power, obviously. And the plot thickens. This new girl, Maria, is already in the capital, getting a crash course in high society etiquette. She's about to have her debutante ball and enter the elite, which sounds all sparkly and fun until you remember this is a story from a cursed book.
Bianca's internal alarm bells are screaming because this is unfolding exactly like the book predicted.
Reinard, bless his clueless heart, actually asks Bianca to help mentor Maria. Oh honey, you have no idea what you're asking for. Bianca, with a pit in her stomach, asks for the girl's name. Reinard casually drops it, Maria Vello. And just like that, Bianca's entire world crumbles, because she knows that name. That's right, folks. Maria Vello.
Our darling Bianca instantly realizes this isn't just a story. It's her story.
And this path? It leads straight to her own inevitable, gory beheading. Talk about a bad spoiler.
In a moment of pure, unadulterated panic, Bianca's mind spirals.
What if she just eliminates Maria? A quick, clean solution to save her own neck, right?
But then the horror of her own thoughts hits her like a truck. She quickly snaps back to reality, realizing these dark thoughts are exactly what the book wants.
Murdering someone isn't just morally wrong, it's a guaranteed fast track to a life of nightmares and probably still getting herself executed. Smooth move, Bianca. Then, our girl gets existential, reflecting on Ricardo's war trauma. Does he have nightmares about the people he killed? Does the weight of his past haunt him every night? It's a surprisingly deep moment amidst all the beheading talk. Bianca pieces it together. Ricardo in the book suffered nightmares even after he took her life.
And with St. George's Day just a week away, the fated meeting between Ricardo and Maria is looming.
Tick-tock, Bianca, tick-tock. But wait, there's a glimmer of hope. Bianca has an epiphany. What if she prevents them from ever meeting? What if she changes their destiny so they never fall in love, thus breaking the cursed chain of events? Genius, girl, pure genius. The next day, Bianca puts her plan into motion, asking Ricardo to spend the entire St. George's Day with her. Her goal?
keep him by her side at all costs to prevent his fated meeting with Maria.
She's playing 4D chess, people. Ricardo is totally flustered by the sudden date request, blushing like a schoolboy. But then, he drops a bombshell: he already has a previous engagement. Bianca's heart slams into her throat.
Panicked, Bianca demands to know who this engagement is with, fearing he's already met Maria.
But it turns out, our sweet Duke promised the day to the orphans at the festival.
Bianca's relief is palpable, and she quickly laughs off her overreaction.
And then, Ricardo extends an invitation: would you like to come with us? Bianca is whisked away, not to a romantic private date, but to a bustling, chaotic festival swarming with children. Her grand plan to avert destiny just got a whole lot noisier. Alright, buckle up, fam. It's St. George's Day, which means holy processions at the temple and a huge, chaotic festival tearing up the streets.
Our beloved noblewoman Bianca, who's clearly never seen a crowd outside of a ballroom, is absolutely losing her mind.
She's convinced a war just broke out. Ricardo, ever the calm in her storm, tries to reassure her it's just a festival. But Bianca's like, a festival? With this much shouting and no refined music? Are you kidding me? Before Bianca can even finish her aristocratic complaints, little Lala swoops in, grabs her hand, and drags her straight into the heart of the chaos. No escape for our princess. Poor Bianca is pulled along, protesting every step of the way, but as she's forced to experience the marketplace, she starts noticing something different. Instead of war cries, she hears merchants touting their wares and children actually laughing.
Her rigid, sheltered mind is slowly starting to crack as she watches a crying kid instantly soothed by a lollipop.
And then, Lala spots a doll.
And Bianca, our disdainful noble, finds herself not only willing to buy it but genuinely surprised by the tiny spark of joy it brings her.
What is happening? She's even getting excited watching a rat-catching game. Yes, you heard that right, a rat-catching game. Our noisy and dirty festival is actually fun? This day is truly a wild ride for Bianca. Ricardo, watching her transformation, actually confesses he was worried she wouldn't fit in here. A rare moment of vulnerability from our usually stoic lead. He thanks her for coming, and Bianca sees expressions of genuine warmth and sincerity she's never witnessed from him before. Is this character development? Or a trap? Just as things are getting all warm and fuzzy with the kids asking for juice, the calm is violently shattered. You know what that means, right?
A blood-curdling cry of thief rips through the market.
Bianca's heart immediately starts doing the cha-cha, because she knows exactly what this means for her tragic future.
Ricardo, without a second thought, springs into action.
He tells Bianca to watch the children and dashes off, leaving her stunned and terrified.
Then, a woman's voice screams for help, a voice Bianca instantly recognizes.
That's it.
The fated moment, the one that seals her doom, is about to happen.
She has to stop him. Bianca races after Ricardo, desperate to prevent the meeting between him and Maria, the meeting that the book predicted would lead to her own demise. Too late. Ricardo slams the thief to the ground, who immediately starts begging for mercy. Bianca can only watch in horror as the inevitable unfolds.
The victim, a fiery redhead, steps forward, tears streaming down her face, explaining the stolen money was for her mother's urgent hospital expenses.
Cue the dramatic violin. And then, it happens. Ricardo utters the exact lines from the book, asking for proof that the money truly belongs to her.
Bianca feels her fate tightening its grip.
The redhead confirms her identity, revealing her name is embroidered on the pouch, Maria.
Bianca's despair is absolute. The fated heroine has arrived.
Bianca flashes back to the tragic scene from the book, seeing Ricardo embracing Maria.
She knows her own end is inevitable, left to wonder if Ricardo himself will drive the knife into her heart.
But then, in a twist nobody saw coming, Ricardo looks away from Maria.
He calls out, not to his fated love, but to
Bianca? What's happening here? Hold up, because our girl Bianca is spiraling. She's trapped in a nightmare, realizing destiny's a cruel mistress, and no matter how hard she struggles, her tragic ending is already written in stone. Talk about a suffocating weight.
Meanwhile, Ricardo, the dense male lead, is totally baffled by the tears he just saw on Bianca's face.
He's over here reminiscing about all the new and joyful sides she showed at the festival, completely oblivious to her inner turmoil.
Typical.
But don't think his growing interest makes him any less icy.
When Maria, our red-haired heroine, tries to thank him for rescuing her stolen money, this man can't even be bothered to give her his name. Ice cold, Ricardo, ice cold. Maria, bless her heart, tries to offer a reward for his help. But Mr. Perfect just tells her to pay it forward by helping someone else before he dramatically swooshes out of there. No time for pleasantries when you're busy being a stoic duke, I guess. Back at the mansion, Bianca is feeling completely out of it, a bit dizzy from the day's drama. Her maid drops a bombshell. Maria Villona, now apparently Marquis Wensbury's daughter, is coming to visit tomorrow. Just what Bianca needed. The next day, the two finally meet. Bianca can't help but notice Maria's a little tacky and disheveled. But she also sees a vibrant, childlike innocence that Bianca painfully feels she completely lacks. Ouch. And then Maria starts gushing. She spills that both Reinhard and Sir Wensbury have been singing Bianca's praises, holding her up as the perfect lady Maria should strive to emulate. The irony is absolutely dripping. This gushing praise just twists the knife for Bianca.
Her internal alarm bells are screaming, terrified that this sweet young girl is the very catalyst destined to bring her entire perfect world crashing down.
Suddenly, a chilling, violent vision flashes through Bianca's mind. Her own horrific execution.
She's left questioning, why her?
Why is she fated to die such a brutal, undeserved death?
Shaking off the morbid premonition, Bianca forces herself back to the present. Maria, coughing and looking worried, explains her move to the capital was because her mother is sick and she can't afford a cure alone. Maria, with eyes full of gratitude, shares her heartfelt dream to one day become someone who can help others, just like Bianca does.
If only she knew the truth.
Feeling like a total fraud, Bianca spills her guts. She confesses her charitable acts aren't from genuine goodwill, but a selfish desire to be seen as a good person. Talk about a raw moment. But Maria, with surprising wisdom, counters that it's actually harder to be kind than cruel. Choosing to do good, regardless of the initial motive, makes you a truly good person. Mic drop. Not even if it meant saving her own cursed life. This sparks an existential crisis. Bianca reflects on all her years of grueling study and hard work to become the perfect duchess. What was it all for if her path is already tragically defined? Stealing her resolve, Bianca decides enough is enough.
She's taking drastic action to change her fate and reclaim her sense of self, arranging a tense meeting with Ricardo.
The tension in the room is suffocating as Bianca finally faces the man she was supposed to marry. She looks him dead in the eye and declares her shocking desire. She wants to break off their engagement. Hold up, did this pink-haired brat just accuse our heroine of ruining his precious clothes with a single spill? Prince Asshole, hun, maybe don't sit so close to the action if your uniform is more fragile than your ego. Bianca is just trying to explain it wasn't her fault, but this prince is already demanding an apology like a spoiled toddler. But wait, who's this dashing dark-haired knight in shining armor? Ricardo swoops in, telling Assel to calm his royalty *TS and offering Bianca his clothes. Assel, clearly annoyed at being upstaged, huffs and puffs about the issue not being the clothes, but eventually storms off to change like the petty prince he is. Bianca is absolutely dumbfounded, staring at Ricardo. Why would a high-ranking noble stick his neck out for a commoner like her? She asks why he stood up for her, and this man, Ricardo, kneels down and apologizes for not being a more attentive host. Sir, are you trying to make her fall for you?
Bianca's mind is reeling.
Her strict mother always said apologizing is for losers, and proper ladies don't get into situations where they have to apologize.
But Ricardo, with that sweet, caring smile, just completely disarmed her.
That's it, folks, that's how the first crush starts. And just like that, a dream was born.
Bianca, blinded by that charming smile and the allure of power, started dreaming of becoming Ricardo's Duchess.
Oh, if only she knew then what she knows now. But fast forward to the present, and Bianca is having a serious glow-up, both physically and mentally. She's staring down a fancy crest and a ring, realizing that a title and a marriage aren't her top priority anymore. Her new mantra? What really matters is me. Yes, Queen. With newfound resolve, our Bianca Crawford faces Ricardo head-on, no longer a lovesick puppy. She looks him dead in the eye and drops the bomb. She wants to break off their engagement. Ricardo's face? Absolutely priceless. Ricardo is rightfully stunned.
He reminds her with a hint of accusation that she was the one who practically begged for this engagement years ago.
Bianca, however, is not backing down. She calmly explains that they were both too young to make such life-altering decisions, admitting her past choices were hasty and, let's be real, a little shallow. She was just a kid who could only see what was right in front of her. Ricardo dares to question her sincerity, and Bianca practically PFTs in his face. She confesses her younger self was only interested in the prestige of being a duchess. It looked like such an appealing position for a perfect lady, but she's grown up, baby.
She's had a massive reality check and realized there are things far more precious than a fancy title.
So, she's trying to correct her past mistakes, and that includes ditching this engagement. You go, girl. Ricardo, still reeling, can't wrap his head around it. He asks the classic "is there another man?" question, clearly implying she's cheating. Oh, the audacity.
Bianca scoffs internally at his question, thinking, doubt my loyalty? Honey, you're the one who runs off with another woman in the original story. She thought he'd be indifferent, but this is a curveball.
Above all, she just doesn't want to die. But then, Ricardo hits her with an even bigger shocker. He declares that he won't break the engagement because he's become deeply interested in her. What? This man is throwing a wrench in the entire story.
Bianca gulps, her mind racing.
Could her actions actually be changing the entire narrative? Is she, the former villainess, actually becoming the protagonist?
She checks the magical book, thinking it will be alright.
Perhaps I turned into the protagonist. But the book shows the original storyline. Maria, the true heroine, arrives in the capital. Ricardo saves her money, and she falls deeply in love with him. And Bianca, the villainess, is always the one who loses everything. Then, another twist appears. Ricardo, in a casual setting, calls out Bianca, and it's revealed that she was his first love all along. This story just keeps getting wilder. But then, the scene takes a dark, dark turn.
A teacup shatters, blood splatters, and Bianca is coughing, sickly.
Maria appears, looking down at her. Bianca is dying, just like in the original story, despite all her efforts.
Bianca, blood on her lips, asks Maria if she thinks this will change Ricardo's heart, knowing the answer is no.
Then Maria, with a terrifying, crazed smile, embraces Ricardo, declaring, even if I can't have his heart, at least I can have his body. Bianca screams in horror, realizing the book still points to her inevitable death.
For the love of God, why does she always end up dying? Our girl can't catch a break. Hold up, is this a curse or God's will? Our girl Bianca is ready to throw hands with destiny, refusing to let her impending doom cramp her style.
Gotta love a queen who says nah to fate.
So, she waltzes right into Lady Maria's life, unannounced, like a boss. And Maria?
She's absolutely thrilled to have a noblewoman drop by. Probably thinking about all the tea she'll spill, literally.
Maria's all tea in the garden, darling, but Bianca ain't here for small talk. She cuts straight to the chase, revealing she couldn't just chill after hearing about Maria's mom's health. What a saint. Or is she? Bianca then pulls out the ultimate flex, a recommendation letter for the prestigious St. Lumenica Hospital. This isn't just a gift, it's a golden ticket to elite healthcare, honey. Maria's jaw hits the floor. St. Lumenica? That's basically the VIP section of hospitals, sponsored by none other than House Crawford. Bianca's just sitting there, giving us a subtle smirk, knowing she just dropped a bomb. Bianca explains that while the Wensburys probably tried other places, Dr. Kenwell at St. Lumenica is the tuberculosis guru. Basically, she's saying your family is basic, but I got you the best. Maria is in full-on emotional meltdown mode, declaring Bianca her literal savior. She's practically bowing down, and honestly, who wouldn't be after that kind of power move? But Bianca's internal monologue is the real tea.
She's thinking, unless this girl's an actual animal, she won't try to kill me, even if some future psychoduke blinds her with love. Savage much?
And just like that, the party crashers arrive. Marquis and Marchioness Wensbury strut in, looking all surprised by Bianca's sudden visit. Oh, the drama. The Marchioness immediately goes for the subtle jab, regretting she only has one son while throwing shade at Maria's very existence. This woman is a master of backhanded compliments.
Bianca's brain is processing the awkward family dynamics, reminding herself that Maria is just an adopted daughter on paper, born from the Marquis's past affair. Yikes, talk about a messy family tree.
The Marchioness tries to pull Bianca away, suggesting they go inside and wait for Reinhard. She's clearly trying to isolate Maria, but Bianca isn't playing that game.
Bianca, ever the queen, politely declines, insisting she's perfectly happy finishing tea in the garden with Maria.
Loyalty points for Bianca. Take that, Marchioness.
The Marchioness leaves with a snide remark about Maria's talent for storytelling. Bianca realizes Maria's home life is a dumpster fire. Even worse than she imagined.
Our protagonist is officially concerned. Sir Wensbury, bless his clueless heart, thanks Bianca for her help. He admits he's a man and doesn't get high society, basically asking Bianca to babysit Maria's social debut. The Marquis then drops the debutante ball bombshell on Maria, demanding she start preparing immediately. Poor Maria looks like she'd rather eat dirt than go to this ball. Maria tries to push back, pointing out she was a commoner like 5 minutes ago. Isn't it a bit too soon for high society? Girl, you're right, but these nobles don't care. Sir Wensbury, being the supportive father he is, scolds Maria for her negativity. Apparently, being a commoner isn't an excuse for not knowing how to debut perfectly.
Bianca, seeing the Marchioness practically salivating at the thought of sabotaging Maria, realizes this is her moment.
She steps in, offering to help Maria prepare for the ball. The game is on. Our girl Maria is just chilling, munching on a snack, when knock knock, her brother Reinhard bursts in, all proper and princely. He's here to ask the burning question, does she have a partner for the debutante ball?
Maria, bless her heart, looks like she's about to burst into tears just thinking about it.
Reinhard, ever the helpful brother, offers to take care of it for her. But then he immediately backtracks, totally roasting her by saying she probably doesn't even know anyone suitable from the countryside. Ouch.
He then drops the bomb about their parents' scandalous past, reminding Maria that high society rules.
But hey, don't be disheartened, maybe you'll get lucky and marry someone you actually like. Thanks for the pep talk, bro.
Alone with her thoughts, Maria's mind immediately drifts to some gorgeous duke's son she met.
She's instantly fantasizing about him noticing her at the ball, a true classic shoujo protagonist move. She's dreaming of dancing with him, hoping to capture his heart just like her mother supposedly captured her father's. Girl, we're rooting for you, but maybe aim a little higher than just like my mother after that backstory. But hold up, the vibe totally shifts when Bianca waltzes in, taking one look at Maria's chosen dress and absolutely demolishing it. Are you serious? She scoffs, saying it looks like something from her grandmother's generation. Savage. Maria tries to argue, saying it's pretty, but Bianca is having none of it. She shuts Maria down, then dismisses Reinhard when he tries to chime in about dresses. Bianca is the boss, and Maria is promptly ordered to change into a proper gown.
While Maria is off changing, Bianca's mind drifts to a very important letter.
House Winkaser is pushing for her wedding to Ricardo to happen in May. The clock is ticking, and our girl is starting to feel the pressure. Reinhard, oblivious to the inner turmoil, gushes about how grateful he is for Bianca mentoring Maria, promising boundless family hospitality in return.
Bianca, meanwhile, is internally screaming, feeling super uncomfortable.
Finally, Maria makes her grand entrance.
The new dress is a total glow-up, and Bianca can't help but crack a small smile.
This girl is officially ready to slay. Bianca declares Maria the most perfect debutante, a cold, calculated win for her. Her plan to survive the novel is coming along nicely, even if it means sacrificing her own happiness. She knows what she has to do: find Maria a partner, specifically Ricardo, the only contender. She must bring them together if she wants to live, according to this cursed book's prophecy. But despite her logical, life-or-death decision, Bianca feels a sharp pang in her heart. Pushing her own fiancé into another woman's arms? That's a new level of emotional damage. Next up, Bianca is on a mission for her charity work, visiting the palace to get some orphanage relocation paperwork fast-tracked. No rest for the wicked, or for those trying to avoid a tragic end. Prince Assel, looking like he just stepped out of a fairy tale, immediately starts teasing her about seeking forged documents. He's heard the rumors, calling her mad for suddenly caring about charity. What a charmer. Bianca, ever the diplomat, explains the complex paperwork and her upcoming charity ball. She's trying to show him she's not the spoiled noblewoman he used to know. Assel, however, just says she's not the same Bianca. Assel finally agrees to help, but only if Bianca looks at him with the same intense gaze she usually reserves for Ricardo. Talk about a power play. He's clearly been holding a grudge, and it's deliciously petty.
Bianca thinks he's just being petty, but he insists she call him Assel, claiming it's a magic spell to grant her every wish.
Our boy is either a total psycho or a massive simp for Bianca. Maybe both? Suddenly, Bianca has an epiphany: what if Assel isn't just being petty?
What if choosing an entirely different path, one with the prince, is the real key to changing her fate?
With the image of a wedding dress and a ring, Bianca realizes her choices are about to redefine everything.
Will she stick to the script, or will she write her own ending with this dangerously intriguing prince? Hold up, is this girl about to meet her ultimate fantasy escort?
Maria is literally vibrating with nerves, wondering if her eyes are deceiving her. Lord Winghazer, the Lord Winghazer, is actually going to be her debut ball partner.
Bianca, with all the grace of a puppet master, reassures Maria that, yes, it's real life. She casually drops the bombshell that she personally pulled strings with Ricardo to get him to escort Maria for her very first ball. Talk about a power move.
Maria is practically in tears, gushing about Bianca's overwhelming kindness.
She's like, how can I ever repay you, while Bianca just smirks, playing it cool like it was nothing.
Our sweet Maria, bless her heart, even admits she thought Bianca was cold and a little scary at first.
But now? Oh, now she sees Bianca's warm heart. You know, the one that manipulates dukes for fun. Just as the girl talk gets too real, Ricardo, looking like he'd rather be anywhere else, struts in to ask if the ladies are finally ready to leave. Mood killer much? Bianca performs the formal introduction, and Maria, all flustered and respectful, gives her shy greetings to the legendary Lord Winghazer. She's clearly swooning already. But wait, plot twist.
Maria has a Cinderella moment and realizes the stoic duke is the knight who saved her from a market thief.
She's convinced it's destiny, a real-life fairy tale unfolding, dreaming of happily ever after.
While Maria is off in La La Land fantasizing about fate, Ricardo completely ignores her, and out of nowhere, starts showering Bianca with compliments about her dress and beauty.
Bianca is stunned.
Bianca's internal monologue is screaming, what in the world is this man trying to do? Ricardo's sudden switch-up has her completely flustered and confused.
Just when things couldn't get more dramatic, Crown Prince Assel bursts onto the scene like a star, announcing that he's here to pick up Bianca, as promised. The audacity. Assel then boldly declares to the entire room that he, not Ricardo, will be Bianca's escort. Whispers erupt, jaws drop, and the social hierarchy shatters. Ricardo tries to block him, but Assel is just too slick. Once they're out of earshot, Bianca confronts the prince about his wild claims. His response? He was just having fun to see Ricardo's reaction. What a menace. Assel then proceeds to gloat, confessing that seeing even a tiny flicker of emotion on Ricardo's famously stone-cold face was quite satisfying. Petty, much? We love to see it. The prince, ever the strategist, explains his reasoning. Since Ricardo ditched Bianca for the Marquis's daughter, it was only proper for a crown prince to step in and save face. It's all about appearances, darling.
And because he's just that extra, Assel pulls out a cheer-up gift for Bianca, the official approval documents for her orphanage relocation project.
He wanted to surprise her. Smooth, prince. Real smooth. With a charming smirk, Assel tells Bianca it's an honor to serve her and formally requests a dance. How can a lady say no to a crown prince, especially one who just delivered on her life's work? She's officially swept off her feet. The ball officially kicks off with the announcement of Maria and Ricardo, immediately sparking whispers about Maria's illegitimate background. Poor girl is trembling as the judgment rains down. Despite the catty remarks, some guests concede that Maria and Ricardo actually look good together.
Meanwhile, Bianca, watching her carefully laid plans unfold, wonders if she can keep up her perfect facade.
The games have officially begun. Alright, buckle up, fam, because this ball is serving up pure drama. Our fiery redhead Maria takes a dramatic tumble, but don't worry, the Duke of Ice, Ricardo, is there to catch her. Talk about a fairy tale entrance. Or is it a calculated move? As Maria murmurs her thanks, the whole damn room erupts in whispers. Oh, they look so good together, the gossips coo, while our main girl, Bianca, is over here trying to maintain her I don't care facade. Honey, we see that twitch. Bianca's internal monologue is basically a train wreck. She's asking herself why she's so bothered, why Ricardo's sudden change in attitude is rattling her cage. Girl, he's your fiancé. Of course, you're rattled by his public flirtation. While the entire room is buzzing about Ricardo and Maria, Bianca is stuck dancing with Prince Assel.
But let's be real, her mind is miles away, probably picturing her man playing Prince Charming for some other chick.
Assel, ever the observant flirt, notices Bianca's distraction.
He's probably thinking, my charm usually works better than this. He asks if she's alright, but it's clear she's not.
The prince tries his usual smooth talk, saying his heart is pounding just from dancing with her. Oh, Assel, you cheeky little devil. He claims making women swoon is his specialty, and honestly, we're not entirely convinced. Bianca, with her sass and tact, deadpans a no to his swoon question. But Assel just laughs it off, asking what she would gain from him making her swoon. This guy is relentless. Then, bam.
Assel drops a bombshell. For example, I could appoint you as my crown princess. Hold up, what?
Did he just propose a royal upgrade mid-dance? This man takes 0 chill pills. Bianca is utterly speechless, then tries to brush it off as a joke. But Assel isn't playing.
He looks genuinely serious, leaving Bianca to wonder if this could be her escape from her current mess. In a moment of vulnerability, Bianca's mind races.
Could being a crown princess free her from the constant fear of being replaced or, worse, poisoned?
The political game is brutal, and she's tired of being on the defensive. Assel, sealing the deal, leans in and tells Bianca he's serious. She's always welcome by his side if the title of Duchess isn't enough. Is this a genuine offer or just strategic manipulation? Either way, it's juicy. As the dance wraps up, Bianca's eyes lock with Ricardo's. And oh boy, his gaze is not friendly. It's heavy, judgmental, like he's caught her cheating red-handed. The tension is so thick you could cut it with a knife. Overwhelmed by Ricardo's piercing stare and the suffocating atmosphere, Bianca makes a quick exit, excusing herself to fix her makeup. Girl, run. But before Bianca can fully escape Assel, a new lady, Maria, pops up out of nowhere, calling out to His Royal Highness.
Just when you thought the drama was over, a wild Maria appears.
Ricardo, still looking like he's ready to chew nails, watches the whole exchange. Bianca glances back at him, almost reaching out, a silent plea hanging in the air. Finally alone, Bianca's composure shatters. Her heart races, realizing that seeing Ricardo with Maria has shaken her to her core, despite her best efforts to pretend otherwise. The Ice Duke has some serious emotional power.
She tries to pull herself together, reminding herself to stay strong, but the past memories of Ricardo with other women are flooding back.
Just as she's having her internal crisis, clack. Someone's here. Before Bianca can even react, Ricardo is there, cornering her in the hallway. He demands a private word, and Bianca, startled, asks what's up. The confrontation we've been waiting for is finally happening. Ricardo cuts straight to the chase, demanding to know why she made him escort Lady Maria. Bianca sticks to her story, claiming she just wanted to help Maria and Ricardo was the most suitable partner. Classic deflection. But Ricardo isn't buying it. He's suspicious, sensing hidden motives.
He even throws in that everyone else thought he and Maria were a good match, making Bianca clench her jaw in frustration.
Oh, the audacity. And then, the final blow. Ricardo asks if pushing him towards Maria was really why she spent the evening flaunting herself with Prince Assel. Boom. He just dropped the mic and walked away, leaving Bianca absolutely stunned. What a cliffhanger. Hold up, did this Duke Ricardo just corner our girl Bianca and accuse her of cheating? He's demanding to know if her time with Prince Assel was the real reason she ghosted him all night. Ricardo's losing it, ranting about how he was forced to escort some random woman while his fiancée was off having a grand old time with another guy. Talk about a drama king. Bianca, ever the queen of composure, just laughs him off, asking if he's seriously accusing her of cheating. Honey, you know he is, look at that face. The tension is so thick you could cut it with a knife as Ricardo doubles down, declaring his sincere feelings and his undying desire to marry her.
Meanwhile, Bianca's just thinking about how much she's holding back. He dramatically asks why she's acting this way, reminding her he made his feelings clear.
Bianca, with her signature sass, just asks, "What feelings?" before he spells it out, "I like you." Ricardo goes full romance novel, declaring she's the woman he has feelings for and wishes to marry. But Bianca's response is colder than a winter's night, "I don't love you back." Ouch. Our Ice Queen isn't done yet. She challenges him to prove his sincerity by getting on his knees and swearing on his very life that his love is true. This isn't just a breakup, it's a loyalty test. Ricardo hesitates, unable to gamble his life on a whim, confirming Bianca's suspicion that his feelings are as shallow as a puddle. She simply mutters, "I see," and turns to leave. But Ricardo isn't letting her go that easily. He lunges, grabbing her arm, desperately calling her name as she flinches away. Talk about clingy. He squeezes her arm, insisting that he has feelings for her, utterly convinced that his possessiveness is romantic. Bianca, however, looks thoroughly unimpressed. Ricardo ramps up the desperation, claiming she's the most special woman he's ever met and he just wants to be by her side, closer than anyone else. "Sir, that's called stalking." He asks if this isn't love, but Bianca pulls away, begging him to stop. She's already decided his grand declarations are meaningless.
Bianca's mind drifts to the book and the tragic fate it foretells.
She wonders if true love would mean facing death with him, but her own survival instincts tell her a different story. She realizes she's no different from him, choosing her own life over their supposed bond.
The realization stings, but it's a necessary evil for her plans. With a cold certainty, Bianca declares they don't love each other and their relationship is officially over. Ricardo, the rejected Duke, exits with a mournful creak of the door. "Get out, you simp." After that dramatic confrontation, Bianca immediately hunts down Maria, only to find her maid looking distraught. Maria's gone, and Bianca knows it's trouble. She finds Maria being verbally eviscerated by a group of noble women, led by the utterly insufferable Kate Conwells, who's mocking Maria for being an illegitimate country bumpkin. The audacity.
Kate and her mean girl clique are busy cackling, thinking they're doing Bianca a favor by shaming Maria for spending the evening with Ricardo.
"Oh, honey, you just stepped into a trap." Bianca makes her grand entrance, coolly greeting Lady Kate and asking if everyone's having fun. Kate, still oblivious, praises the ball, but Bianca's icy stare cuts through the niceties.
Kate, still thinking she's in the clear, blabs on about the disgraceful country bumpkin who dared bat her eyelashes at a taken man.
She has no idea she's digging her own grave. Kate continues to patronize Bianca, saying how hard this must have been for her. Bianca, with a glint in her eye, knows Maria hearing about the engagement now would ruin everything. Bianca reflects on Kate, her useful source of information, who has now made a colossal, unexpected mistake by messing with her carefully laid plans. Someone's about to get schooled. Bianca sighs, realizing Kate's blunder means Maria now knows about the engagement. This was not supposed to happen, as it would make Maria retreat and ruin her scheme. Mic drop moment. Bianca steps in and calmly announces to the stunned crowd that she was the one who asked Ricardo to escort Maria. Kate looks like she's seen a ghost. Bianca, with an intimidating gaze, twists the knife, asking if they truly believed Ricardo, her fiancé, would betray her trust for another woman. The power play is real. The noblewomen, terrified and realizing their colossal mistake, stammer apologies and scramble to backtrack. Bianca's cold intimidation works like a charm.
With a dismissive wave, Bianca sends the scurrying bullies packing, telling them to enjoy yourselves. That's how you deal with mean girls, folks.
Now that the gossips are gone, Bianca turns to a visibly distressed Maria, her expression softening. She needs to fix this, and she needs to do it now. Alright, buckle up buttercups, because our girl Bianca is once again stuck in a loop of despair.
Despite all her desperate attempts to rewrite her tragic fate, nothing, and I mean nothing is going according to her meticulously crafted plan.
This girl's life is a masterclass in expect the worst, it'll still get worse.
Just when she's drowning in her own thoughts, Maria, the human sunshine ray, bounces over with the most unexpected news. A full-blown enthusiastic congratulations on Bianca's engagement to Ricardo.
Bianca's face? Priceless.
She's literally sweating in shock, wondering what fresh hell is this.
Maria, in her classic, adorable, unrefined way, confesses that engagement is just one of those big, fancy words she always struggled with, often getting scolded for her pronunciation. Bless her heart, she's so pure, she's practically transparent. Bianca, ever the strategist, quickly pivots. She explains she wasn't intentionally keeping her engagement a secret. Oh no, she was just being considerate, worried that dropping such a bombshell might upset Maria or, worse, ruin her debutante ball. What a martyr, right? But here's the real twist. Maria isn't just not angry, she's practically glowing with happiness.
She grabs Bianca's hand, gushes about how amazing Bianca and Ricardo look together, and declares it the best debutante ever. Bianca must be internally screaming, "This is not in the script."
Bianca, still in disbelief, actually asks Maria if she's angry.
Maria's response is gold. She acknowledges Ricardo is the most ideal, wonderful, and noble knight she's ever met, but clarifies she has zero romantic interest.
Apparently, being angry over something so trivial is ridiculous to our innocent Maria. Maria's adoration for Bianca skyrockets. She genuinely believes Bianca, her supposed rival, selflessly put aside her own feelings as a fiancée just to ensure Maria had an unforgettable night. The irony, folks, is so thick you could cut it with a knife. Noticing the awkward, silent tension hanging heavier than a winter coat between Bianca and Ricardo, Maria, in her infinite naivete, suggests they talk it out properly to resolve their misunderstandings. Oh, Maria, if only you knew. As Ricardo walks away, Bianca has a gut-wrenching realization: she's been living a lie. Her entire love story with Ricardo? A complete fantasy. They don't love each other. It's the kind of revelation that hits harder than a truck, leaving her world in shambles. Just as the drama peaks, Lord Reinhard Wensbury pops in, all concerned about his sister after some commotion. Bianca, seizing the moment, uses his arrival as an excuse to gracefully wrap up the disastrous evening, eager to escape this emotional dumpster fire.
As the last guests depart, Maria thanks Bianca with a blinding smile, hoping to see her again.
Bianca, despite everything, finds herself utterly unable to hate Maria. It's a genuine, unsettling feeling for someone who's supposed to be the villain. Driven by this unpredictable shift, Bianca frantically consults her mysterious book again, only to be met with absolute horror.
The narrative has twisted into something far more sinister, painting her as a selfish and wicked monster, a woman who kills without hesitation. A broken wine glass image just screams bad news.
The book's chilling prophecy continues, directly accusing Bianca Crowfort of unspeakable acts, cutting off her sentence before the full, horrifying truth can be revealed. Bianca, coughing blood, tries to deny it, but the book isn't finished with its cruel revisions.
Brace yourselves. The book drops another bombshell. Maria's mother is dead, and the murderer? None other than Bianca herself. Our protagonist stares in disbelief, a single tear escaping, utterly aghast at this new, twisted reality. Bianca grasps the horrific irony. By being kind to Maria and preventing her from falling for Ricardo, she inadvertently created a new reason for Maria to seek her demise.
The universe, it seems, demands blood, one way or another.
After Bianca's death, Maria still ends up comforting Ricardo. Talk about a cosmic prank. No.
That doesn't make any sense. Bianca screams internally, vehemently denying the book's claims.
She's convinced someone is framing her, manipulating the narrative to turn the sweet, gentle Maria into a vengeful spirit.
She realizes Maria's fatal flaw isn't her table manners or being born out of wedlock, but her dangerous combination of lack of formal education and her innocence. This makes her the perfect, easily swayed pawn for other ruthless nobles to twist with doubt and lies. Ouch.
With a chilling resolve, Bianca devises a new plan. She will completely avoid the hospital where Maria's mother is, creating an ironclad alibi. No proximity, no blame, no murder. It's foolproof, right? Asterisk, right? Asterisk. Just as she's basking in her brilliant strategy, strolling through the city, Maria appears, smiling from ear to ear. And who's standing right beside her, perfectly healthy and vibrant? Maria's mother.
Bianca's face just screams, "This isn't what I planned for." The universe just loves to clown on her.
Hold up, fam. Our girl Bianca is having a full-blown existential crisis, realizing that no matter how many times the universe tries to rewrite her story, she always ends up 6 feet under. So, what's a girl to do? Get involved, act kindly, and avoid lethal misunderstandings, obviously. Cue the hospital visit, where Bianca gets a warm welcome from Maggie, Maria's mom. Turns out, Maria is Bianca's biggest fan, praising her to the high heavens daily. Talk about a free PR campaign. Maggie pours out her gratitude, gushing that it's all thanks to Bianca's care and influence that she's chilling in this fancy facility. We love a noble who uses her power for good. Or at least, for strategic plot points. Bianca, ever the diligent stand-in, explains she's running the Crowfort family's annual charity event because her parents got an urgent summons to the Imperial Palace. When duty calls, you answer, even if it means missing out on the fun.
Maggie paints a picture of the charity event. Nobles sipping tea upstairs while the commoners get to enjoy a full-blown garden festival with all the booths.
Truly a tale of two cities, right? Bianca, who usually ditches these events to her parents, decides to join Maggie on a tour of the garden booths. Her brain goes into overdrive, realizing she has to stick to Maria like glue. Any slip-up, any hospital negligence, and her family's name could be dragged through the mud. Typical noble drama, am I right? Meanwhile, over at the Imperial Palace, the Empress is having a little powwow with Bianca's parents, dangling a second chance for Bianca to join the Imperial family. You know, just casually deciding people's lives over tea. But wait, the Empress drops a bomb. She's heard whispers about Ricardo escorting another woman at the recent charity ball. Uh-oh, looks like someone's engagement might be hitting the rocks, and the Empress is ready to stir the pot. Despite the brewing scandal and ongoing talks with the Weinkäser family, the Empress insists that the crown princess position is still Bianca's for the taking. Talk about commitment. Or maybe just a power play. Back in the garden, Bianca, ever the detective, subtly interrogates Maggie about her health. Good news, no weird poisons or curses, just a classic allergy to cats and dogs. Who knew noble life could be so mundane? Maggie spills the tea, saying her health has improved, But she spends her free time strolling alone to a nearby chapel for prayers. Solo walks? In this economy? Bianca's internal alarm bells are ringing. Suddenly, the hospital director bursts onto the scene, practically having a heart attack because Lady Bianca is slumming it with the commoners. Oh, the horror. The scandal. But Bianca? She's cool as a cucumber, brushing off the director's dramatics. Her focus is on the real issues, event logistics and ensuring the patient's specialized food is on point. Priorities, people.
As Bianca prepares to ditch for the tea party, her mind drifts to Maggie, realizing the book she knows never even mentioned this woman.
Maggie was just a nameless extra in the original narrative. How dare the book disrespect her like that? Our girl Bianca is officially done with the book's nonsense. She orders her maid, Fanya, to stay glued to Maria and Maggie, reporting any suspicious activity.
The book thinks it can control her fate.
Think again chapter.
Bianca unleashes her inner boss. She's gonna throw tons of money and private soldiers at this hospital to protect Maggie. Her logic? If Maggie lives, Maria has no reason to go full psycho and try to off her. Big brain moves, Bianca. As the day wraps up, a coughing Maggie is back in her room, exhausted.
But just when you think it's over, a mysterious conversation starts brewing about a past agreement. What secret is Maggie hiding?
We're all ears.